You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
I look good. I got big energy every day. Let's go!
And he is dicked.
Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
That's right.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
On the move and throws and touchdown.
Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Wolldog, sitting with my buddies, Kev, Hug, and Duggan.
What's up, bro, Chachos?
Hey, and Kyle, the coach, Duggan.
You've got to be I swear I had planned to say, ho, 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 bro, chachos. And then Kevin does the same exact thing.
Sniper.
It's almost like your brothers or something.
I know. Yeah, synced up.
You guys are on the same wavelength. All right. Well, folks, welcome to episode 81, where we've got plenty to talk about. There's a lot of rookie business going on, the schedule being released to talk about, and a whole slew of you guys asking questions out there in Boltfam country. So strap yourselves in, folks. It's going to be another one of those Charger Chat-like episodes.
Right in the wilderness.
So, first and foremost, we got to say, Mr. Austin Eckler, happy friggin' birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh my God, again.
Happy birthday.
We are synced up. This is not going to be good, guys.
This is a bad omen.
We might
Those of
agree
you-
on some things today.
Those of
This
you
might
that
be
like
weird.
the fights between me and Kev are not going to be happy with this episode, apparently.
No.
It's all right. So we got to wish the guy happy birthday. Love Austin
Absolutely.
Eckler.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, big guy. Looking at some of the news around Twitter, Good Morning Football, the gems that they are, posted a poll in regards to who the MVP candidate might be this
Dark horse.
upcoming season. Yeah, the dark horse. Who's in the running? And they had everybody vote. Anybody on Twitter voted. Looks like there was over 11,000, almost 12,000 votes. And 35% of those voterinos went to our flowy boy, Jaybird. So congratulations for the dark horse possible MVP.
That's crazy.
candidate.
So why did no one vote Tom Brady? Is it because he's not a dark?
Well, 12%
To me, that's not a
did.
dark horse.
He's not a dark. Well, he hasn't won in a while, and he's clearly not exactly what he used to be. So it
Right.
makes more sense that one of these guys
But
has a better
The
shot.
fact that he took it over Matthew Stafford and Joe Burrow, those were like the other ones on the poll.
Right.
That's big time, man.
I feel so weird having a popular quarterback. I feel like I'm like the girl
Wait, hang
that
on,
got
hang on,
asked to the
hang on.
dance, and I finally,
Karen, you need to fess up. How many times did you vote?
yeah. How many web browsers
Jen,
did you have open?
How many
Karen?
times did you guys vote on this to make sure that Justin won?
I honestly,
God.
dude, like I didn't see a lot of like, this wasn't like the Pepsi Rookie of the Week or the Isaac Rochelle,
Right.
Walter Payton Man of the Year. Like this was just,
Yeah,
it was just there. And so
just tossed up. Yeah, not
Yeah.
No
big,
big deal.
like, nobody-
This wasn't even shared that much in
No.
like the Charger Twitterverse. It was just like it's just
the
happened.
people have
We're-
spoken. Yeah.
35% spoken. We just won it. What do you want from us?
So it's pretty dang cool just to see that
Yeah.
coming from unbiased fans. And then looking at the Chargers and their ticket situation, Bolt's Pulse posted that the Chargers are believed to have sold 55 to 60,000 season tickets 4 months out from the NFL season. To put that in perspective, SoFi Stadium, the capacity is only 70,000. So if we've already sold 60,000 season tickets,
Yeah.
that's pretty damn
I'd
impressive.
like to think we helped a little bit with this with our
Absolutely.
episode about three
We're
and a half
three-
months ago.
And we're 3 season tickets of those 60,000.
That's right.
Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I know it's
But-
an interesting dynamic though, because you're
Yeah.
seeing people like trying to buy tickets now, and I'm seeing a lot of people like I can't find tickets. They're not. I can't afford them. Like they're not available, which is crazy. Charger games aren't supposed to be like that, so it's kind of interesting. I just hope that it's going to be Charger fans holding on to their season tickets
Right.
and not a whole bunch of brokers that bought these tickets and are now going to just like circulate them. So
Yeah.
I'm seeing like people online like really trying to keep it within the family. So I'm also, if we can't make any of our games, they will stay within the family.
Yeah. And I'm just
Cue the
hoping that
Godfather.
I'm praying that what I've missed about being a season ticket holder when our dad had season tickets at the Q, one of the best things is when you go every Sunday, you see the same people.
Yes.
You know, you like, oh, that guy that sits in front of us. Like, I remember vividly one of the guys that sat in front of us, he had binoculars, but it was never on the football field. The only thing he watched was the Charger girls.
Yeah.
And then the other guy,
the
other guy that I got stuck behind sat straight as a board.
Oh, geez.
Like didn't slouch, straight as a board on the edge of his seat.
Wore a 10-gallon hat.
10-year-old me could not see a thing on the field because this guy his buddy was watching the Charger girls and he was sitting straight as a board on the edge of his seat.
It's so funny, dude.
But that's part of the
too.
memory of Qualcomm is like the people that you sit with. And so, yeah, I hope that at least the majority of these season ticket holders are guys that are going to show up, at least most, like, obviously stuff comes up. You can't make it every Sunday. But the people, it's just fun being a part of the same crowd, and a big play happens, you know, you can go celebrate with George that's 3 seats down. That's also a season ticket holder, you know?
I can't wait to meet who's around us.
Yeah.
And I'm just pumped. And who knows, like the tickets we can't use, like, you know, we have a little family that are listening to us right now. We'll see if we can't circulate these tickets to people that
represent the Charger chat.
That'll represent our seats, section
the
307.
way they need to be represented.
And you have to be shamelessly positive or you don't have a shot with these tickets.
No.
And
because we want a
they're
good
not the best
rep in 307.
They're not the best seats in the house. I'm not going to say that, but you have to be shamelessly
That's
positive.
going to be the shamelessly positive section for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And looking at our boys in Charger camp, they had the rookie mini camp was held May 14th through the 16th. And we got our first look at our draft picks. Every one of our draft picks showed up to rookie minicamp. There wasn't one holdout or anybody that was like, yeah.
They're ready to go. They're ready to go.
Yeah.
Man, that snuck up on me. I wasn't ready for it.
Came out of nowhere. Next thing I know, I see Rashawn Slater, like, being the quickest lineman I've ever seen in my life on my Twitter feed.
Everything that I've heard of is OTAs. No one, like, the NFLPA is going to fight it. All of a sudden, rookie minicamp is here, and they're all out.
And they're all out there.
Out in helmets practicing. I'm like, what the hell happened
With
here?
some interesting jersey colors, too. It was interesting to see defensive guys wearing like the gray color. That's not a common color for
Staley.
the Chargers.
It's competitive casual.
I like competitive casual.
It was cool seeing Staley out there, too. Just like, as I haven't seen our coach yet.
Coaching.
So he was out there doing his thing.
Absolutely.
And, he had some really good quotes after that first day when they let the media in.
Yeah. No, to reference those quotes, Coach Staley said there is so much that goes into a rookie's transition from a routine standpoint, from a rhythm standpoint, just learning how we operate from a meeting standpoint, then going onto the field. Hey, where do I line up? Where do we start stretch? Where's my individual? Where's my group period? Special teams. Looks like everybody's trying to find their spot on the playground, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. It's
where do I sit for lunch?
That's right.
Football's such a routine, man. I just remember high school football playing. It was just like, as an offensive lineman, you went to the same spot on the field and did the same routine every day, all the way through summer, all the way through the season. That's just how it was. So, like, getting into the rhythm of that, and it's important.
Yeah. And you can start to visualize the rest of the offseason. You're like, okay, like I feel confident that I know what we're going to do. I know I kind of comfortable with the coaches, and it gives you that, it like just kind of puts you at ease mentally, the anxiety of, oh crap, now I'm in the NFL. What am I doing? No, it's like, okay, now at least I know where I'm going to be at and where I'm going and what things look like.
Mm-hmm. Big time. Staley also had more to say. He said, of all those things from a detail and an organization standpoint, we're all new. So making sure that everybody gets into that comfort zone so that they can be as good as they can be. This is a teaching camp. It's a teaching, learning few days. We're going to get this thing off the ground the right way. God love it, man. He just keeps saying the right things.
Yeah, it's like the coaches are rookies too. And in a sense, because they're all brand new. The facilities are all new. I mean, obviously they've talked about it thoroughly of, hey, lineman, this is your, like,
sure, they had a game
of the
plan,
field. But actually going out and executing it, I'm sure it felt really good for the coaches as well. Like I said, for the players to be like, okay, I know what we're going to do. I know what things are going to look like. For the coaches too, like, okay, like now let's build on this. Now what do we do? Mm-hmm. What did we need to adjust? So it's big. Like, it seems silly. It's 4 days. It's just the rookies, but it's big for everything that goes on to the organization.
It's big for the fans just to finally start to see these guys. I mean, wearing jerseys that aren't, mocked up from Twitter of them like, okay, well, let me digitally enhance this photo to make it look like he's in a Charger jersey. It's like, no, they're in it, dude.
The one player that I'll say that just the cut-ups that they showed even on Instagram of Josh Palmer running routes, that guy looks strong, man.
Yeah, he does.
He looks strong running routes.
Same for me with Trey McKitty. They had one just a blocking drill where he was just quick, made really great first step, got his hand, like he just had much faster than I anticipated, and he's a big guy, so that was cool to see too. Like I have nothing but faith in those other guys, but like seeing the guys I'm not certain
the guys
about
that we were like,
cool.
Wait, who the hell did we draft?
Right,
type of thing, but they look good.
He's quick.
Well,
shamelessly positive, baby.
Hell yeah, dude. Well,
do.
I mean, they're moving and they're shaking, and they talked to some of the players. Rashawn Slater had a quote. He said, "It was definitely a lot going out there on the field for the first time, getting in the middle and hearing a lot of the terminology. I've got a lot to learn. I feel like we had a really good practice out there."
And by all accounts too, like they mentioned that like he took time after the first practice and stepped to the side and was working with some of the other linemen. Like he's been so in the mix of training and focusing and getting ready and not having a year to play. It sounds like he's just ready to teach. Like that's the sign of a good leader, to try and help guys with their technique and get them ready. It was great hearing that.
Yeah. And then they also talked to Asante Samuel Jr. He says, "I've been doing this all my life. I feel like once I have it mentally, physically, it will handle itself." What inspiring words, man.
So cool. He's so cool. He's just so cool.
He doesn't take crap off of nobody.
He's like, guys, I've been in the NFL my whole life. My dad played here. I was around training camp.
Yeah.
This was expected. This is not like oh God, where am I? It's like what's up, guys? Yeah, let's go. As soon as I figure out this playbook, I'm gonna be making plays day one.
Big time.
That's like his mindset.
Pedigree.
Awesome.
This is where I'm supposed to be.
It wasn't the Rashawn Slater. It was definitely a lot. I'll get used to no. I'm ready.
Yeah,
As soon as I learn this crap, I'm going to be making plays.
Same house, new coat.
Give
of
me my
paint.
helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so awesome, really cool. And then also seeing all of them set up for the photo shoot, holding up their jerseys. Everybody's got big smiles.
Did you guys see?
Except
for Asante. Dude, really just does not smile.
Yeah.
They did they showed all of them taking their photos, and then the photographer was just like, "All right, serious face." I was like, "All right, smile, click, click, click." And the other two guys were fine, click, 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 and it showed Asante Samuel Jr. and he's like, "Smile," and nothing, zero
mug.
change,
Yeah.
still mean. Like he almost got more mean of a mug. It was,
tell me to smile.
Someone tells me to
what was so
smile.
funny about it was like he goes smile and he doesn't do it, and the photographer says perfect.
He's like, yeah,
perfect.
All right,
you win.
Moving on.
Yep.
I'm just a photographer. I'm not gonna. I'm not pushing this anymore. This is good. Perfect.
I get paid by the hour, one way or the other. So
So rookie minicamp was good to see. It was fun to see. But something that I've enjoyed even more on social media, I've seen Keenan Allen has posted a couple things about them getting out on the field together.
Dude,
Herbert.
Derwin's out there.
Tranquil's out there.
Everyone's out there playing. I saw
Kenneth Murray was out there.
Everyone's out there. They're practicing together on their own time at just like it looks like public field.
Yeah,
which
it just looks like,
man, that's even cooler.
Yeah, just a big patch of grass. They're just practicing. It's like OTAs. Yeah. That's fine. We're gonna be playing at the park after school. Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And dude, Herbie's got
until the lights turn
back.
off. We're gonna be out there playing.
There you go.
Herbie's got the flow back too.
Herbert's
that guy.
flow,
I said, he's viral. He's got a lot of those.
Viral.
He's got the hair growth thing. It's working. He's looking good.
And and people have been commenting on those posts specifically, going like, "Dude, Herbert has been working out. Like he just
some of the Twitter ladies of Charger Dumb are just like,
I got a case of the vapors. So
I do declare,
Mr. Beauregard."
That's so funny, but we got a stud.
That was so cool because anybody that isn't checking it out, Keenan Allen posted it, Derwin James posted it on their social media. Check it out. I mean, these are guys. I mean, Derwin James and Drew Tranquil's especially. These were guys that we did not have.
Hurt.
Both were hurt last year, so getting them back working together, practicing, getting back into that groove. It's just so good to see.
And they
these guys
care,
available.
man. Like,
yeah, no,
a
they
lot
don't
of
care.
these, like a lot of NFL players, they don't stay local in the offseason.
That's true.
They
They're
go back
out.
Yeah.
home to
I didn't
wherever
think
they're
about
from,
that.
and they live there until they have to report for OTAs or whatever it may be. These guys are all still in LA. So they didn't go on their big vacation, or they already did them, but they're back and they're ready to work. It's
Ready to go.
It's pretty fun to watch.
It's awesome to see. So, so everybody's getting their workout in, rookies, veterans, everybody's getting their workout. And then looking at, as we mentioned, they released the schedule, and Chargers in continuous fashion just
Our
released
media
the
team's just
schedule
the
in
best.
just the chef kiss perfect way.
It was so funny because somebody posted like a thread on Twitter where it was like all the different, because all the teams released their own videos. So it was interesting seeing everyone had these like giant production values and hired and spent tons of crazy ass money to do these things. And then the Chargers, the classic Charger, were one step ahead of the game.
So funny. Yeah,
They do word art on PowerPoint, and that's
on
it.
PowerPoint.
Just straight word
With
art.
Joey Bosa's like totally monotone reading of
just
who we're
on
playing.
a Zoom call, showing the PowerPoint. Comparatively, like the only other one that I saw was like the Dallas Cowboys one, and that was so cringe. That was just like, Jerry. It was like Jerry Jones and Post Malone, and they were posting the schedule. It's just like, oh my god, you guys are so.
Come on, guys.
Yeah,
There's just the ones that suck are the ones where they get the coaches and stuff to act. Like the Redskins one was brutal because they had Ron Rivera call Chase Young like a fake like FaceTime call. Like, you ready to go for the season? I'm talking to a camera. Like,
are you ready for week one when we play the Chargers?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So the Chargers just fire like all again,
big time.
Again,
So,
firing on all cylinders.
Looking at some of the there's some highlights. So there was the Washington football team, which I mean, politics. Take a tour with the guy that stormed the Capitol building.
It says
And
DC's most wanted, this man, and then a team name. And then statehood.
Oh god, they're just like little. Everything's got a little hidden gem.
Just all the details.
Look
are
at the
so
Cowboys. Oh god.
oh my god.
Yeah, the official Cowboy fan uniform.
Yeah, it's like the jorts and the
Jordans and the throwback jersey with Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, it's so good.
So good. And then looking at the Chiefs, I love
Week 3.
I love the Kermit the Frog and just like the bashing of all the famous barbecue places.
Typical slow ass service and crap food. 1 star.
And then the highlight. I mean, the week 18 against the Raiders.
Read between the lines.
Don't forget
boys.
family, trust, and respect.
And
the Raiders.
The Raiders.
oh my god, it's magical.
They just killed
Those
it.
were just so freaking funny. I mean, you can
And there's
watch
more.
that. Yeah, they did
there's a
one
lot
for
more.
every week.
Guys, we have to have a shirt. If we ever do merch, we have to have a shirt that's the Raiders.
Yeah, we'll have like little increasing
so
font. It gets bigger.
Yeah.
So they released the schedule, all 17 regular season games and the 3 preseason games. Good to see that the Chargers are playing the Rams in one of those preseason games. So,
you guys ready? Should we announce to everyone?
Do the honors, my friend.
Week 2, SoFi, first home game that fans get to go to. The Charger Chat podcast will be at the game.
We will be in attendance,
sir.
folks. So the rest of the
Cowboys.
season is, a little bit up in the air. We got to figure everything out, but we can confirm that home opener against the Cowboys,
We will be there.
Huggin, Wolldog, and the coach are going to be there. So it's going to be
Yes,
a blast and a half. I cannot wait, dude.
I
This
know,
is
dude.
going
I
to
was
be
so
such
jacked.
a blast.
So jacked.
I can only, I mean, everything up to this point has just been seeing pictures and just imagining what it would be like. But everybody that's been there is just like, you can't put it into words.
Can't put it into words.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So pretty damn special. So
Looking at the schedule, though, those first 6 weeks are tough, man. We have to go. The travel in the first 6 weeks and the competition that we're playing. it's nice to say the NFC East is always bad, but like I feel like the NFC East going into the season is always like, oh man, they could have 4 good teams.
They could.
And then it doesn't ever turn out that way, but that's what it is going into the season. And having to travel to DC is never fun. Going to the East Coast is never great.
Brand new coaching staff, brand new team.
Yeah, man,
they're gonna earn the bye week.
It's a daunting first 6 weeks, and then finishing it off in Baltimore. It's going to be a tough first 6. It's going to say a lot about the care of our team and where we're headed, how we handle the first 6 weeks. So we're going to be hit the ground running for sure.
Yeah. I'm just excited to see the schedule. 3 primetime games. We got a Monday night, a Thursday night, and a Sunday night.
If we go back to last episode,
listen,
I called the 3.
As it stands right now, yes, you called the 3.
Utah,
but
3.
We might flex in.
Dude, I would love to be wrong.
We might flex in.
Yeah, we might. It could still happen.
We'll flex.
I can do this all day. So, all right. So it's scheduled. Check it out, folks. It's awesome. And it's gonna happen. All right. Well, now, folks, it's time to look over to Coach's Corner.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
All comes down to today.
You take this helmet and you put it right in his numbers, okay? I want to see nothing but snot bubbles in his nose.
A lot of people want to blame coaches for a lot of things.
Nobody puts coaches
Trade up,
in his
and
corner.
we shut them down because we can.
It's because I believed in you.
And I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational, but that just wouldn't be our style.
Let's do it.
All right, folks, it's time for Coach's Corner. We reached into our bag of questions and we pulled out one from Mark Busnelli Jr. Congratulations. Your question is the one that Coach is going to take a look at today. And you made a voice request and you said to pick whichever is harder, you son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch must pay.
All right, so here you go. Here's your stinking request, Mark.
Coach. With all the jibber jabber about Star Rolls, not to be confused with Star Wars in Staley's defense, A, what the bleep do those roles mean? B, who plays those? And the Raiders.
The
Good
Raiders.
Yoda.
He does.
Them they do.
Oh, that's so
okay,
good.
so
yeah.
So let's see. So star roles. I feel like that was brought up by Staley a couple times. Did you?
Yeah.
What do you got for us?
Yeah. So the star is a position in his defense. So it's all about how you want to term it. So every defense has its own terminology, and the defense could look exactly the same. You just call a position a different role. For instance, when I was coaching, I always ran a 4-3. And our middle linebackers were always the Mike was the middle, the Will was the weak side because it starts with W, and the Sam was the strong side because it starts with an S. Try to make it as easy as possible for my high school kids so they knew where to line up.
Is that really why it's called the Will? W meaning the weak side?
The Will is the weak side linebacker, and the Sam is the strong side linebacker.
I did not know that.
And then the Mike a lot of the times is the middle linebacker.
Okay.
So it's just a way of not, and to be honest, I don't know why they don't just call them the middle, the strong, and the weak, because
for real,
everyone in football knows Mike, Sam, and Will is middle, strong, and weak. Okay. So
because you feel bad for the guy who's called weak. That's just not fair. Give him Will.
Yeah, it's true.
We're gonna give you a nickname. You're gonna be Will.
Yeah.
Hey, Will.
You're
Will. Super strong name.
That's a strong name for a strong position.
I am Will.
William. Yeah. So it's all about how you want to just call a position. And it can be different. So sometimes maybe you don't have the star on the field in certain packages, but for Staley, what the star is, and I did a little research so I could pull a quote from him. He talked about it last year when he was the DC for the Rams. An article that was written said, Staley said he created the star position brought over from his days as defensive coordinator at Division III John Carroll University in Cleveland, Ohio, where he was also played quarterback. The role is a hybrid defensive back position, like a slot defender. So like imagine the nickel, what you would bring in as an extra defensive back. It's like that, that place and that's kind of what Ramsey did. It's a position that kind of combines several different skill sets. You're a little bit of a corner, you're a little bit of a safety, you're a little bit of a linebacker, inside linebacker and outside linebacker, because you also rush the passer. So to sum all that up, the star is the best player on your team. It's the most diverse skill set that you have. And I would say that not every team has a quote unquote, well, not every team has a star, but not everyone has like this star player. You can't always find them. So sometimes you have to manufacture it. All right. So on our team, to answer your second question, that's obviously Derwin James. He can do all of those things. Some people in the offseason were like, what happens if you put Derwin at corner? You could do that and he would probably play pretty good, but you're narrowing down what his impact on the game is. Very much like Jalen Ramsey, right? So you have this guy that can play multiple different positions. You want to get him super involved in the game. So Derwin James to me is our star. Now, if Derwin James is not in the game, that means they're facilitating those responsibilities that would be the stars with several different guys. So if you bring in a true nickel, a Chris Harris, I don't know if Asante Samuel ends up playing that, whatever that slot defender is, the guy that, and slot meaning they're playing the number 2 wide receiver. So the number 1 wide receiver is the one closest to the sideline. And then you just count inward. So the number 2 wide receiver would be the next one in, closest to the center. And the number 3, if there's 3 receivers to a side, is the next one in. The slot defender is the one defending the number 2 receiver. So if you don't have your star would line up on the 2, but you don't know really what he's going to do. He could blitz off the edge. He could play the flat. He could play man-to-man. He could play the hook. He could do so many different things that it makes it really difficult. Obviously, every defense wants to have those kind of players. But if you don't have that, and that, I think that's why the Rams, they go, hey, we have Jalen Ramsey. He's played corner, but this guy could play the star. Let's bring him down and utilize him more than just sitting outside and not really doing anything most of the game. So if you don't have a star, that's when you see multiple different packages come in. So when you're watching a football game, as a casual fan, you don't know all the things going on behind the scenes. And I don't, even me, I know some of the things. I don't get to hear it. Obviously, I wish more than anything we could hear what's going on in the headsets from the box to the field. But in the box, there's always one coach communicating to the defensive coordinator what personnel is on the field. Personnel meaning in between plays, you see guys running on and off the field the whole time. So each play, depending on the down and distance and what play that the offensive coordinator wants to call, he's going to bring on different players, right? So say you have 2 running backs on the field and a tight end. That's 21 personnel. So if there's 2 running backs, 1 tight end, you automatically know there's 2 wide receivers. And if you have a 21 personnel, you want to have a certain defensive personnel to match that. You don't want to have nickel. You don't want to have your nickel package out there that has an extra defensive back. You want to have an extra linebacker out there. So you would bring on your more heavier personnel. Now, if they're in 10 personnel, that's 1 running back and 0 tight ends, which this is all happening within seconds. The guy in the box is watching guys coming on and off the field, and he's echoing down to the defensive coordinator, hey, coach, it's 10 personnel. It's 10 personnel. And now the defensive coordinator is saying, okay, it's 3rd and 8. They have 10 personnel. I need to get my dime package on the field. And so he'll be screaming dime, 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 and bringing on pass rushers and taking out some of the heavy body D-line. All of that is happening at the same time. So there's a lot going on in between every single play in the NFL. So to have a guy that could play that star position, it just simplifies a lot of those substitutions. You don't have to bring as many guys on and off the field. You can say, hey, Derwin, you're the star. When I call this play, this is what you do. And you don't have to bring him off the field. 1, the best part is you don't have to bring your best player off the field. And 2, he gets to be a guy. He just gets to be a player. He gets to go out there and make plays. A lot of what I think makes the best football player is their instincts. And that's why I don't put a whole lot into the combine, because that's all just testing measurables. You can't test instincts in any kind of 40-yard dash or 3-cone drill or whatever it might be. So you get to allow a guy to go out there and be instinctive and go play like Asante Samuel said. I've been playing this game my whole life. As soon as I learn this crap, just let me go, let me off the leash and let me go play. And the guys that are on the field and in rhythm and you can kind of tap into that that instinct the more you play. If you're coming constantly on and off the field, you can't find any rhythm using a defensive player. You need to get used to seeing what the quarterback's doing and how the slot receivers are lining up and how they're getting off, and all that stuff is so effective. So the star position, it really is built for a guy like Derwin James, that he can play corner, he can play the slot, he can play safety, he can play pass rush. And you don't have to take him off the field. You can just call a different play, and he knows, okay, and this, now coach is calling this, it's 3rd and 10. I know I got to be conservative and get off here and do that, this, that, and the other. So the NFL is all about matchups, getting the right defenders on the field when the certain packages for the offense is on the field. And other levels of football, if you've played high school football before, you might have never ever come off the field because there's no packages. You don't get that luxury to have, hey, they have a lot of receivers, I need to get a better corner on the field. You might not have an extra corner that's any good. The NFL is all about matchup. So if you can have a guy that's like, hey, you're the star, you're always on the field, you're never coming off, but you do this different things in all these different packages, it's only going to benefit the defense and allowing them to play fast. So yeah, that's the idea from my understanding of what the star is, and when Coach Staley talks about that.
We're not worthy.
Oh my God.
We're not worthy. We're scum. We suck.
I would love to see a conversation between Kyle the Coach Duggan and Brandon Staley, because they would just be able to talk the same lingo.
Believe me, I wish I could just listen to him talk.
And I would just sit here being like,
I just want to be a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
A fly on the wall on one defensive meeting. Oh God,
it's like
that would
Christmas for Coach.
Yeah. Best day of my life.
Well, there you go. Congratulations, Mark. Coach broke it down for you and broke it down for all of us. I learned a whole lot of new stuff there on that. So glad that we have somebody like Derwin James to fit in that star role. And just one more reason why the Underwear Olympics are overrated,
Just
man.
that.
It's great to see and just to hear how important instincts are in this game, because it's not about like how fast you run. If you're running fast in the wrong direction,
way. It's no good.
That's not good.
You're supposed to go that way, not that way.
We don't want to make the blooper reel with that one. So excellent. Thank you, Kyle the Coach. It's time to now look on over to Bolt Insight.
All right, guys, we are here with another Bolt Insight, and we are super lucky to have Jason from Bolt Beat. What is going on, my man?
What's up, guys? I'm doing good. Glad to be on. I'm excited. We've been partnered for a little bit now here. I'm excited to finally be on the show. It feels good. Talk to some Charger fans.
I know, dude.
Not many of them where I live.
I feel you, dude. Same here. It's always good to get together with our fans. It's like a little therapy. Like I hop in here and start chatting with people, and it's like, oh, I just feel better, relax. It's fun. Yeah. It's good times. So let's talk a little bit about that. We're extremely excited and pumped to be a part of the Bolt Beat, be the official Charger podcast. So like, what was that like? Do you guys have the podcast realm? Did you guys do any podcasts originally, or like how did that work out?
So, I've been with Fansided now in some capacity for almost 5 years now. And there was never really any concrete kind of podcasting network. There was times where we would try to launch things, and I say we, I mean like the people, above my pay grade, my bosses and whatnot, would try to launch things, and there would be sites. My first site I worked on, it was called LA Sports. So I'm actually wearing the shirt right now.
Nice.
My site expert, co-site expert at the time, he tried launching his own thing, but it was never like a uniform thing where, this site would have a podcast and honestly the audio would be terrible or something would happen. And then this site, and it was just kind of like all over the place. So we were bought by Minute Media. They also own the Players Tribune, the Big Lead, other, media outlets like that. And one of the big goals was to kind of create an actual podcasting network, professional, all that stuff, and kind of, catch up to some of these, the Ringer Podcasting Network, Barstool, kind of these outlets that have, good networks.
Totally.
And Fansided at its core is, it's for the fans, by the fans, And so what we wanted to do is, in some instances, some of the sites, so I also work on the Lakers site, Lake Show Life. I've been doing their podcast over there. So that's just called the Lake Show Life podcast. It's fun. Definitely a way bigger Charger fan than I am a Laker fan. So I wish it would have been the Chargers, but at the same time, I'm very happy because in other instances, we brought in, licensing deals, I guess you can call them, where we, reach out to you guys, and you guys had your established audience. People love you guys. We've watched your work from afar, as we've worked together up close now. So we kind of moved you in. You're now the official podcast of Bolt Beat. We're working together, and it's fun. It's good to have. We were kind of behind in this audio realm, and not gonna lie, I'm a little selfishly happy that I don't have to record, a 2-hour podcast on top of everything else. So
it's a little, yeah, dude, we're pumped, and it couldn't have worked out better because like what you guys stand for, the fan side of like that's what we are. We want to talk with fans. We want to meet people from all over the country and make this community that makes us feel stronger and more happy to be Charger fans. So let's kind of jump over. I'm just curious, like on that note, how did you become a Charger fan? Like how did that go down?
So I wish I had some fun backstory about, I hear a lot of people talk about the colors.
Yeah.
The colors drew him in as a kid or, all this stuff. It was just my dad. My dad is as diehard of a Chargers fan as you could be. So I'm also, this is kind of a sin for Charger fans, but I'm also a Dodger fan. And growing up playing baseball, I'm probably a little bit more baseball serious. I'll cry and stuff. I mean, maybe if the Chargers win the Super Bowl, I'll cry too. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
But my dad's the diehard. Get really excited, gets really mad. 2006 against the Patriots, we lost a house phone because it got launched across the street. Hopefully he doesn't mind me sharing that. But he was as diehard as it gets. He grew up in San Diego, so he kind of just, took me in, taught me the way. I remember, watching LT and all that stuff. And just, it was one of those things, like the Dodgers kind of sucked back then. So it was like, we never really watched the Dodgers. We always watched the Chargers. So it was my dad, really. I mean, I've always said I'd rather see the Chargers win a Super Bowl than the Dodgers win a World Series. They already did. You can see that right there. But just for my dad, I want him to see it. Obviously, selfishly me too, but mostly for him because he takes this maybe a little too seriously.
Yeah, for sure. It's the same thing with Kyle and I. Like our dad is a diehard, and that's how we became the way we are. Like we're just product of our Charger environment. So it's makes it fun that way. That's what you bond over. Like you get with your family members. You have that thing where you call every Monday. Like we have that call with their dad. Like it's just an awesome way to bring people together. So that's awesome.
Yeah, with me now, it's since I obviously write about the Chargers and stuff, and I'm not with the team officially, but obviously watching a lot of film and a lot of analysis and stuff. It's become I get calls asking to explain this selection or this, why because he doesn't fully see that Casey Hayward wasn't very good last year. He just loves Casey Hayward, and he was pissed, and I had to explain to him for 30 minutes why he got cut and all the salary cap and all that. So that's kind of what our relationship is molded into. I'm like his what he vents to, and I have to explain everything to him.
Yeah. Dude, that's so funny. Maybe it's just the older generation thing, because my dad was exactly the same thing on Casey Hayward. And when we mentioned like getting ready to move on and pick up somebody new, he was pissed at us for even saying that. So respect to the Charger dads out there. We appreciate you. So tell us a little bit about Bolt Beat, because it's an amazing website, and I'm not sure if everyone that listens always checks it out enough. So tell us a little bit about Bolt Beat and what you guys are doing specifically on the website side.
Yeah, so you see the sites, you got like the SB Nation sites and the Chargers Wire. We're kind of in the same realm, kind of industry. Well, obviously the same industry, but we're in the same realm. We're a little bit different though. So we offer the same, analysis and, breakdowns. We had the schedule breakdown and break out, way too early predictions that are usually way off because it's, May.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of, fans writing about the team, analyzing the team, all that stuff in a professional manner, of course. It's kind of, I've always called it, I don't think we technically call them blogs anymore because there's kind of like this weird association with the word blog, but we're almost like a professional blog in a sense, and we'll have debates on Twitter. I run the Bolt Beat Twitter account. I apologize if I've ever come off the wrong way because I have debated some fans in the past on the account, but we'll have debates and we'll talk about things and we'll turn that into an article, and it's just, it's things like that. I kind of want to write stuff that people want to read, it's obviously, the goal is, views and whatnot, but we don't even look at it that way. It's not like, oh, let's write this, crazy, whatever, outlandish thing. It's like, oh, let's get clicks. It's like, hey, what do Charger fans want to read about? It's what I see on Twitter, people talking about. Reddit is a really good one. People talking about, things they see, opinions they have. And sometimes I agree, sometimes I disagree, and we just talk about it. It's, I grew up kind of in Bleacher Report's heyday, not to say that it's no longer, still a big thing, but when it really burst onto the scene, and I remember going on my mom's iPad and reading wrestling articles and Charger articles and Dodger articles, and it's kind of taken that, and I think some of these bigger outlets, like Bleacher Report, again, not to say anything about them, but they've taken, understandably, a more widespread approach. They do like the whole NFL post, the whole NBA post, stuff like that, and then they kind of just aggregate content from sites like us and whatnot. So we're kind of like that new outlet, if you want to read about the trap games, something as small as that, or if you want to read roster predictions, just all that kind of stuff. We have fun. We're serious at the same time. Sometimes I will, like I did a quarterback rankings of who the Chargers play. And I like to throw in some of my, my writing flair where I kind of talk smack about other players and teams.
A little whipped cream and cherry on top for the article. A little bit of that.
I had I got to pull it up now. I can't find the article, but I broke them down into tiers. Here we are. So it's ranking each quarterback the Bolts have to face, and each tier had its own name. So the first tier was the let's hope they have a bad game against the Chargers tier. It was Mahomes and Lamar, obviously. And then the next tier was this guy is pretty good, but not as good as Justin Herbert. That was Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, Joe Burrow, Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield. Tier 3 was good enough to date, not good enough to take home to your parents. That's Big Ben, Tyrod Taylor, Teddy Bridgewater with an asterisk because we don't know who's going to start there.
Sure.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, Jalen Hurts. And then the bottom tier is would have been better off playing European football. That's Cam Newton, Drew Lock, and Daniel Jones, who I think is the worst quarterback in football. For some Giants talk there.
Yeah, seriously, that trip was pretty awesome. Last season, pretty rad. Halfway down the field. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. And I love your site because you guys have really fun, positive articles about fans too. And like, as you know, we're the shamelessly positive. Like, we love to go into the season, clean slate every year, happy. Like, this is the best season we're ever going to have in our lives. And we love some of the articles you produce. You highlighted Jen Mills and Karen a couple episodes ago and kind of spread that out there. So we appreciate you doing that. I just, if you haven't, go bookmark Bolt Beat because they're legit. Yeah.
We're partners now.
Partners in crime. Let's see what we can get into. I'm excited. So let's wrap this bad boy up with this. So, like, what are you most looking forward to this season? There's clearly a lot of different storylines, a lot of exciting things that the Chargers are, headed down a certain direction with. What are you looking forward to the most?
It's kind of more of the same from last year, just with better coaching and some better pieces. Because our picks, in the grand scheme of things, like the new guys on the roster. Corey Linsley, obviously much needed, great signing, not complaining whatsoever. But no fan is going to be sitting there like salivating over Corey Linsley blocking. I mean, some fans are, Stephen Haglund, he writes for Bolt Beat. He will. I know he's a big offensive line guy, but it's not the sexiest of things. Rashawn Slater, I'm sure Asante Samuel will have some highlights and whatnot, but it's just more of the same, seeing Herbert, hopefully with people are going to get hurt. So pretend that, someone won't get hurt. It's going to happen. But hopefully a mostly healthy core, a healthy offensive line that's actually protecting for him. Eckler, who really didn't play much last year when he did come back, he was still a little banged up. We didn't see, 100% Eckler last year. And it's just kind of capitalizing on this potential that they have because the roster is a little top heavy at points. And this is an argument I see about the Chargers is, you have like your Derwin James and Joey Bosa, but behind them is not, fantastic. My counterpoint to that is like how many teams have a fantastic third stringer? You know what I mean? Like, the third stringers aren't great, but that's why they're third stringers. Every team has third stringers, the Super Bowl teams might have, strong backups, but look at the Chiefs. They lost because their starting offensive line got hurt. So I'm excited. I think there's a ton of potential. I think the ceiling, I'm not going to get my expectations up, yet, but I honestly think they have a Super Bowl winning formula, whether that's this year or in the future. You look at past teams that are successful, it's the rookie quarterback contract, it's the weapons, it's spending big on other positions because you have that, financial flexibility. And, Herbert's going to take a leap in year 2. I'm excited for Brandon Staley. I think he's really going to maximize his defense. And I'm just excited. I mean, Patrick Mahomes said he didn't learn how to read defenses until halfway through his second year. If Herbert doesn't know how to fully read an NFL defense yet, and Staley comes in and helps him with that, and we get more, obviously we're going to get the improv throw on the run, against the Saints like we got last year, but we get more of the designed routes and picking apart and more clinical on top of what he can already do. It's an exciting football team. And I see some NFL fans, mostly Vikings fans, saying that Justin Herbert's overrated. I actually just quote tweeted a guy who said that. Couldn't be farther from the truth. You never see a guy have a year like Justin Herbert just had and fall off. Like it just doesn't happen. So I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
It's exciting for sure. We're pumped, and we're also pumped that you were able to join us on this episode, man. We're really looking forward to continuing to work with you, and then definitely bring you on more often, and you can kind of give us your insight, what's going on, and spread the wealth to the Charger Nation.
Absolutely. Before you let me go, I have one question for you.
Yes.
Do you have a record prediction for 2021? Have you looked and sat down and done that yet?
Yeah, I think and I'm shamelessly positive, and I told you I'm a clean slate and I can't help myself. I think we're a 12-win team. I think we could easily win 12 games. I think it's 4-2 in the division. I think we're going to split one with the Broncos, split one with the Chiefs, and sweep the Raiders.
Absolutely.
What about you?
I try to be as objective as possible because, I still have the journalism degree, and as much as I want to be shamelessly optimistic, like you said, I still try to be as even keeled as I can be. Last year, I got a little slack because I predicted 8-8 with Tyrod, and people didn't like that. But I mean, they went 7-9. I predicted 11-6, so I'm 1 win less than you. So I'm feeling really good.
My shameless positivity and your realism is coming together just beautifully.
That's how you know it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
I'm the exact same way, though. I have us splitting the Broncos. On paper, we should beat the Broncos twice, but football happens. We'll probably lose one of them.
Yeah.
Sweeping the Raiders, like you said. Chiefs, I have us losing 2 really close games.
No.
And that's where the 1 game difference is between us.
Got it.
I have us losing in overtime week 15. They're like Darth Vader, man. It's just until they can consistently do it, I just kind of pick against them, unfortunately. And then the rest of the schedule kind of speaks for itself. The 1 game I have, because there's going to be one surprising loss that we all get mad about. It happens to literally every NFL team, and that's week 13 at the Bengals. I think Joe Burrow is going to come out, and it's going to be a shootout. But I also have us beating, the Vikings, the Steelers, and that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
we're aligning. That's 11 or 12 wins. I think that's a guarantee now.
That's a playoff team, baby. That's all we need is get into the show. That's all I want. So
absolutely,
dude, thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure talking with you, and we will talk to you for sure again soon.
Of course. Appreciate it, my man. Thank you. And everyone check out Bolt Beat. Follow us on Twitter. If you don't follow them already on Twitter, Charger Chat Pod, follow them. I'll plug you guys as well. We have big things in store. I can't announce anything, but we have a big future guest, hopefully lined up. So that should be fun.
It's going to be rad. So, all right, bro, I'll talk to you later.
All right. See you, Kevin.
Wow. Jason, that is so awesome.
My
dude.
man.
Thank you so
Let's
much.
go.
This is so exciting. I anybody that I can't imagine that there's anybody that's listening to us that isn't already following Bolt Beat. But if you aren't following Bolt Beat, do yourself a ding dang favor.
Come on.
And follow Bolt Beat over on Twitter.
Go
Come on
bookmark
now.
that bad boy. Yeah.
Yeah,
they do some great stuff, and they do follow-ups like we talked about. He'll do little write-ups on what happened in our episode. He did a really cool article on Karen and
Jen.
He does great stuff over there. So he's got to, we're pumped to be a part of it, man. It's
exciting.
Sky's the limit.
It's exciting.
Awesome.
It's so cool to be a part of this family and just to have it keep growing. And again, Jason, thank you so much for stopping by on the podcast.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
And we'll see more of him, I'm sure.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, this better not be the one and only, Jason. You better be back.
Happen.
All right. Well, now it's time to look on over to Fan Focus.
All right, guys, we are here with another Fan Focus, and we're very lucky today to have Tayler from Arizona. What's going on, Tayler?
What's up, man? How you guys doing?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. Well, hey, we wanted to reach out. Tayler, your story's kind of gone all over Twitter. Unfortunately, your home caught fire and you lost all your stuff, and the whole community's kind of come together. So we just wanted to chat with you and see how everything's going, how you're doing.
We're good, man. I mean, my family's safe. My daughter's safe. It could have been worse. It sucks what happened. We weren't expecting it. Obviously, we had everything and then we had nothing in 10 minutes, but we're good. We're good. We're looking at the positive, we still got our lives. We're here, we're breathing. Nobody got hurt. The neighbors were also involved and nobody got hurt there. So at the end of the day, it could have been a lot worse, but it really wasn't. So.
Well, we're glad you're okay, and we're glad the Bolt fam kind of came together and tried to help out a little bit. So I'll mention it later, but there's a GoFundMe going for you right now, and if we'll have a link for it in our description. So if you guys feel like you want to hop on and help out, we appreciate it. We want to help you out as much as possible, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Well, cool. Yeah. All right, cool. So every time we do a Fan Focus, we want to find out, how did you become a Charger fan? You're in Arizona. How did you become a Charger fan?
My dad is originally from California. He used to teach a lot of Pop Warner. He coached my brother. He was always a Charger fan from coming home, home and being away from California. They came to Arizona and, then he met my mom and I I never was into football, I would say, until about 5 years old. My dad put me in Pop Warner, and I played for the Redskins here at Manzanita Park in Tucson. And yeah, it was cool, man. He introduced me. One of the first games I saw was it was Keenan McCardell. You remember when he made sideline, that toe tap catch that everybody kept reviewing? I remember that. I mean, like it was yesterday. That was the first actual time I actually sat and watched a Chargers game. I was about 7 or 8. And from then on, dude, die hard after that.
I love it. So you've been a fan for a while. That's awesome, because we've been talking. There's a lot of fans that last 5-10 years kind of come on board, but you've been like from the beginning.
I would say I'm 21 years.
Love
21 years. Yeah.
I love it,
absolutely. Dude. Forever.
So what do you think? Like, so you have a good perspective on this. What do you think of like the fan base now? Because obviously moving from San Diego to LA, there was a shift in dynamic of the fan base. But what do you think, with Herbert now and like everything that's going on in LA, what are your thoughts on the fan base? What's going down?
So the thing, here's my thing with the San Diego, Los Angeles thing. If you're a fan of the Chargers, whether they move to Oklahoma, whether they move to whatever, you're going to be a fan of the Chargers. Just because it's from San Diego to LA, it's the Chargers. The location doesn't matter. It's the team. Herbert's amazing, dude. I've watched Herbert tear up U of A for Pac-12 for 4 years. My cousins are from Gresham, Oregon. Mm-hmm. They know all about. They love Oregon, so they're big fans of him. Yeah, dude. I knew he was going to be amazing. From day one, I was pushing for him. I was pushing to have him sit behind Rivers if they signed him again. But I'm glad it worked out, man. We were pumped. Me and my dad were going crazy. He's been elite, dude. I mean, he just needed the right scheme.
Yeah. He's definitely injected this new excitement and this new thing into the organization that we haven't had in a long time. So it's kind of fun to be a Charger fan right now, because usually we're like the butt end of jokes. People are giving us a hard time. Now it's like, your boy is, whoa, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, and it's fun to be a Charger fan now, because before, I would say after, Marcus McNeil was gone, those Beelman, you remember those guys?
Oh, yeah.
Had an offensive line for Rivers. So it was kind of the same old song and dance. Okay, yeah, we could be good, but we always had those offensive line issues. Now we know what we have as a quarterback, and sadly we should have done it with Rivers. I feel like we would have had a championship if we did that.
Yeah.
But now we have an offensive line, man. I mean, we're going to be good. A lot of people are sleeping and saying he's going to have a sophomore season that's a slump, and I can promise you it's not going to be, dude. He has a line, and he's going to have time, and he's going to have some big receivers. Palmer's good, man. Palmer, people are sleeping on him too. That was a good pick.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. They added some things that you don't, it was like it almost felt like a luxury where we were adding people and adding position groups that were like, yeah, this is good. We'll just bring them in. They'll be able to sit. And usually it's like, we need to get people to start right now. So like the dynamic was a little different this year, and we got some studs, I think.
I think Mark Webb's going to be amazing. I think I think Staley's going to find a really good spot to fit him in. I mean, Slater, dude, you're going to notice a difference. I mean, from day one, we had Tevy right there, dude. Come on. Sam Tevy. Not gonna do it.
No, it's not an elite level tackle. We finally have an elite level tackle, and we haven't had one in a while. So it's been a turnstile at that position.
And now we have one for the next 10 years, 10, 15 years. We have a quarterback. That for a fact. The time to win is now. And I think they did it. They did it the right way. It wasn't shocking moves. It wasn't splash moves. I would say the biggest one was Corey Linsley.
Yeah.
I think they did perfect. I think they needed to do certain things, and they did those things. You know what I mean? And I think we're going to be contenders this year, man. I feel it. I feel it. And I'm not just saying that. I know it's my team, but we did the offseason the right way.
Yeah.
This time. So I'm excited, man. I'm really excited. I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited too, man. So like my last question for you, what are you most looking forward to this upcoming season? Like what is, if there's one thing you can focus on, the thing you really want to see that would help take this team up and over the top?
Just staying healthy.
You know what you got? That answer, you know what you got? A+. That was an A+ answer right there.
I mean, really, that's it. We have the roster. We have the talent. We just need to stay healthy. And we need a coach that doesn't waste all of our timeouts and try to run it 4th and 10.
I know. I'm so ready for the run pass to cease and change it up a little bit.
Oh, I couldn't take it anymore.
That's crazy. I know. So, all right, Tayler, thank you so much, man. And, we're thinking about you and your family. We hope everything goes well and smooth and gets you back, to your place and everything as soon as possible, man. So if you guys have an opportunity and you have the means, please go check out our description below on our YouTube channel and go over to their GoFundMe.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys showing the support. Shout out to Jen Mills.
Big time.
She's amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. Yeah, thank you guys, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you soon. We'll talk to you online.
Dude, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
All right. Take it easy.
All right,
brother.
bud.
Bye.
Yeah, we'll see you later. Bye.
Oh, Tayler, dude, you
talk about shamelessly positive, man.
You
He
are
found
so
a way to
shamelessly
turn a
positive, man.
Terrible
Yeah.
situation into getting excited and talking about the Chargers with me. I'd be, I'd have been down and he was up, man. What a great guy.
Well, it's because of people like Jen Mills that has been able to help him and show the support, and everybody in the Bolt fam that's donated to the GoFundMe. Every little bit counts. Every little bit helps. You might not think like, $5 is going to go a long way, but when you add it up to everybody that's a part of this Bolt fam, it goes a long way, folks. I promise you that. So please definitely go donate to the GoFundMe. And man, Tayler, you when you talked about Justin Herbert possibly sitting behind Phillip Rivers, man, that's a timeline I wish we could have had, dude. To just imagine how much
go Biff Tannen on that. Go
exactly
switch it out a little
how
bit.
Herbert
Alternate timeline
could have sat behind Phillip Rivers and
For
learned
1 year,
from
yeah.
just for 1 year, man. I mean, I love Tyrod Taylor. I thought he was great to have, but man, that separate timeline of sitting behind Phil, God, that's a utopian world if I ever heard one.
Yeah. And I will say, watching like I don't know, like our fan base, people can talk crap about it all they want, but
we're tight.
When someone was in need and the need, like seeing how much people donated, how it added up for a guy that we've never met, just knowing that he's a Charger fan and that he was in a time of need, people showed up. Like we showed up. So I would rather have a small fan base that's committed to each other and loyal and cares about one another
Big
than
time.
a gigantic ones that
fight each other in the stadium.
Yeah, like the fuck the Raiders.
All right. Thank you again, Tayler. And now it's time to move on over to the Craig experience.
Oh, yeah.
Come on in, man. Kick your feet up.
Oh,
Craig experience.
hello there.
Make yourself at home. Got some stuff to talk about, right? Moving on.
You want to know how to tell that you absolutely love this stuff? Times like this, in the offseason, you get no slots in between like the draft and camp, and there's next to nothing to talk about, and you kind of got to dig to find some interesting stuff. Labor of love, but if you're into it, you're into it, so no excuses. That said, CC Brodies, what's goody? To the rest of the Bolt fam, what up, what up? It's your guy Craig in Texas, and welcome to another edition of the Craig Experience. And here we are, rookie minicamp. Just this past weekend, I got to see some clips of my spirit animal, ASJ, Asante Samuel Jr., running around with his dreads on fire. And a few of the other guys out there doing their thing. And, it was Coach Staley's first crack at his new gig in, I guess, in an official capacity, out on the field at least. Seeing his guys up close and personal, calling the shots, and the new kids getting an opportunity to get themselves acclimated to their new dig. So it was really awesome to see. A couple other things to touch on the schedule. Haven't had a chance to talk about that yet. And boy, the NFL wasn't playing around. Right out of the gate, week 1, Slater versus Young, round 3. And I am all but certain that when Chase got the alert about the schedule and who he was playing against week 1, Buddy probably got all lathered up and went right into position drills. Might have been bedtime. Wouldn't have mattered. I'm sure he got tired of seeing all the offseason hype and tape and pundits watching Rashawn Slater just completely wash him a couple years ago. So I'm sure he's ready to get back out there and prove himself a much better player. I mean, he wasn't not a good player then. I mean, he was the best pass rusher in college football, but Rashawn kind of got with him, and we all know how that went. But, outside of that, man, those first few weeks are looking like a tough go. I'm talking about like a murderer's row, a who's who. Right after that Washington football team, you got the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Raiders, the Browns, the Ravens, and then the bye week. But right after that, you got the Pats. And man, we're talking about the young guys getting some exposure quickly, not to mention Coach Staley. And, we get a better feel of what, his philosophies and schemes look like on the field. We don't have to guess at it anymore. And by then, we should have a pretty decent handle about what we have as far as the team is concerned. Just looking at a couple of the games that I personally am hoping to attend. Well, there's one for certain I'm definitely going to. That's going to be the Houston game, which is the day after Christmas. And before then, there is the KC game, Thursday Night Football in LA. And I'm really looking forward to that, possibly going. My best friend is a Chiefs fan. Who would have guessed it? And we're already kind of in talks about what we're going to do with that. Also, side note, pray for me. I'm sure I'm going to have to get my wife a very nice Christmas gift this year to be able to fit 2 games around Christmas time, the week before and the day after. So I have to come up with something really nice. I'll figure it out. As far as a couple of other things to chat about, specifically, we're talking about here some under the radar guys that look like they may have a place in Staley's scheme that, beforehand kind of maybe lost track of or weren't properly developed. And we know a lot of that went on. For me personally, a guy that I have my eyes on is Cortez Broughton. Actually went back and watched a little bit of Cincinnati tape, and I remembered why I liked the guy. He's extremely explosive off of the line of scrimmage. He's going to end up playing one of those 4-eye spots, I would imagine. His first step is super quick. And, he's got really great lower body strength. And I've seen him push some linemen back right off of the snap. Sometimes he gets lost in the wash, but a lot of that has to do with leverage. I hope by now some of that's been cleaned up. But I'm sure that moving forward, he's going to be a lot better than what we've seen in the little bit that we had seen of him prior. So that's a guy that I'm really, really interested in that I think may end up standing out next year. And that 3-4 Eagle front, you're looking at those 4-eye guys to, be penetrators. A lot of what that defense is about is, creating free runners at the linebacker position and, having guys be disruptors on the interior. And that's the term for him. At least that's what I'm thinking he's going to be, is a disruptor. It's going to be awesome to see him develop among the other guys and, just kind of see what this team is really made of. So that said, boys, who you got? What's the name that you think no one's really talking about that you're interested in seeing taking the next big step forward? It doesn't have to be one of the top shelf kids. Of course, we're talking about some of the under the radar guys. So, but if it is one of the, more known names that you think is going to take an even bigger jump forward, feel free to have at that as well. Anywho, you already know what it is. Bowl Ganger don't bang. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.
Craig. It's not fair how freaking cool you are, dude. Some people get too many things. You've got too much going on. You've got the muscles and you're cool.
Not fair.
It's not fair. And you've got the draft hat, which nobody can buy anywhere anymore. I can't find that hat to save my life, and you're flaunting it on our podcast. God bless. Well, thank you for stopping by.
Before we get into our picks for the players, I really hope you can find something awesome for your wife, because I just had the sit down with my wife about the schedule and how that might go about working. Wasn't the smoothest thing I've ever had. But it was had.
It wasn't as cool as Craig.
I think we should do a little powwow how we can make it up to the significant others, because
big time.
It's a big ask. It's a big ask.
Yeah.
But I did.
Especially when she's not invited to any.
She wasn't invited to any. She is, however, letting me take my 6-year-old to one of the games. So I'm going to be taking my 6-year-old to one of the games. So
excellent.
It'll be fun.
So if anybody's got any ideas for what Craig or Hug and Duggan can do for their wives, hit us up on Twitter.
Help.
And if you need to hit up Craig, Top Flight 3, top_FLYT 3 on Twitter. Hit him up. Let him know what he can do to save his marriage so he can go to some of these games. All right. So under the radar players that we're looking forward to. Personally, for me, the guy that I think is really going to come out and wow some people is Drew Tranquill. Looking at, because I don't look at technique, I don't look at play scheme, I don't look at that stuff goes all over my head. But I can look at statistics, and I can recall when Drew Tranquill was with us on his rookie season, was making himself pretty well known. To compare to somebody else who made themselves really well known their rookie season, Kenneth Murray. Kenneth Murray had 68 solo tackles in his rookie year. Drew Tranquill had 61. So a little bit less, but still making his presence known. Now,
Drew was not starting day one,
no,
like Kenneth was.
No. So, and in fact, because Drew got injured last year, probably opened up more opportunity for Kenneth to get the tackles that he ended up getting. So I think Drew Tranquill, and when you brought up seeing Keenan Allen and Derwin James, and I saw Drew Tranquill there too, that got me really excited. I'm really excited for Drew Tranquill to come back this year, because having him and Kenneth Murray and the rest of the linebacker crew that we've acquired either through draft or through free agency, I think those guys are going to be explosive this year. I'm really looking forward to see Drew Tranquill play.
Yeah, I actually have another Notre Dame player that I think is a little bit under the radar, for good reason too. He was I think
because he's always been under the radar.
Yeah. I think it was a 5th round pick. There wasn't a whole lot of expectation for what he would do. But I think Alohi Gilman is going to have, and it might not even be from a defensive side of the ball. Obviously we've seen what Coach Staley can do with defensive backs and how they seem to have stellar years as soon as they're under his scheme. So that may be the case as well, but I think even more so from a special teams, which every Charger fan just wants our special teams to be the best in league, knowing that we'll do good things on the other two sides of the ball. But I think Alohi's going to have, I don't know, he's just one of those guys that ever since we drafted him, I was like, again, he has that instinct. He has a way to get to the ball and make plays. And I think he's going to be able to do that in a more comfortable way this year. I think he had big consequences from not having that offseason, not having that whole COVID preseason type stuff, not having preseason games. It hurt those special teams guys a lot, man. He just didn't seem like he ever gelled in a way. But I think that he's going to have an impact on the team that is unexpected.
And to add to that, not just, I mean, you put the preseason and the COVID situation in there, but also not trying to kick these guys in the nuts, but the coaching staff that we had, again, never feels like they utilize some of these guys to their full potential.
Their full potential, for
exactly.
sure.
Right.
So, I agree. I think Alohi is absolutely a possibility. Who are you thinking, Huggin?
I'm going to go with somebody a little different. I'm going to go with one of the older players we have on our team.
That's fine.
And I'm going to take a trip on over to Iowa. I'm going to go Brian Bulaga, because I know for a fact because I watched a lot of Packer games with my wife. She's a diehard Packer fan. He was one of their best offensive linemen for years. Right now, the Chargers, all they know of Brian Bulaga is injury and his inability to stay on the field and how he just didn't play that well when he was in. I think he has the ability to step up and become what he was in Green Bay, and why we brought him in to begin with. And especially since you're going to be surrounding him with a stronger offensive line, he might be able to settle in and do more of what he did and not try to overcompensate for some of these guys that, he was lined up next to. So I think, it's a different pick. It's not one of the new guys who isn't proven. Like, this guy is proven. He's just not proven to Charger fans. So I'm going to go with Brian Bulaga, Iowa.
I think that's a great pick. I think you're right. comparing it to the rest of the line, and I think that's an interesting perspective of him having to do more than he should be asked to do, because he's either paired up with Trey Turner, who was a total bust, or
what are you
somebody
going
like
to do
Storm
when you're
Norton
lined
or
up
something
next
like
to
that.
Trey Turner? What are you supposed to do?
Exactly.
Like how good do you have to be to make him good last year? Like,
in
it just
reality,
wasn't
the guy
realistic.
was hurt.
Yeah, the whole
right?
time.
The guy was
Both of
even
them
when
ended up getting
he
hurt.
sucked it up and played, he was probably hurt the whole time.
So I'd say we saw about 30% of what Brian Bulaga is, and I've seen him. I've watched a lot of Packer games, so I'm very excited. If he can be healthy, he can come in. Don't get super banged up this year and can stay in there for all those snaps. Like, I think we're going to be pumped with the right side of that line.
As Tayler said, man, we just got to stay healthy. That's got to be the Charger creed, man. Just stay
A+
healthy. That's right. A+, Tayler. All right. Well, thank you, Craig, for stopping by and making our podcast just about 110% cooler. It's time now to go on over to Ask Boltfam. And as mentioned, you guys, you came hot and heavy this week. Lots of questions to go through. Some of them pretty fun and some new names. So all you new folks, good to see you. Thanks for coming on the show, asking questions. Let's start this one off with Kanyeezy, one of my old favorites, who asked the question. Yo, dudes, what up? Got a quickie here for my surfing bros. You get to revive one Charger player, alive or past, to add to our current team. Who you got? Gates, Cromartie, Merriman, someone else? I've been huffing and puffing all week, unfortunately. Went to the doc and he told me I was a THC positive. Whoa! I'm also dealing with Kool-Aid poisoning, as for some reason I feel like we'll make the AFC chip in Staley's first year. Well, beautiful day here at the beach. That is long. Catch you later, guys. Keep waxing. Can't love you. Bye.
Gone easy, bro. You're the best.
Easy. Love you, man.
This is the easiest answer. Put LaDainian Tomlinson in on any team. Any team. I want LaDainian Tomlinson. It's not like the love pick. Junior say I would be the love pick.
Right.
I want LaDainian Tomlinson on this football team in his prime.
That's fair.
All right, well, dog, who do you got?
I'm gonna say Gates, dude. I think I with the loss of Hunter Henry, we have tight ends. We have some that have played with us last year. Don't necessarily. I can't imagine any of them having the caliber of Gates.
But the chemistry was Rivers and Gates.
I understand.
Have you not running back? He'd step in there. He'd run with anybody.
Have you not looked into Justin Herbert's eyes and felt immediate chemistry when you look into those? And just go, I will do anything for
funny
you.
You say that because
Air Bear, because I am just lost my eyes.
Say that. Yes. Valid point.
Valid point. Yeah.
All right. Who do you think, Coach?
Okay, so I had two in case one of you took one of them.
All right.
Because for me, these are the two biggest positions of need. And obviously being a defensive guy, they're both defensive guys. My number one, who's my favorite Charger. Yeah, my favorite Charger of all time is Rodney Harrison.
Called it.
Nailed it.
Because I don't know, like as a kid, watching Rodney Harrison play, he tried to kill people every single play. And like as a kid, it's just so fun to watch those big hits.
Every play.
He was just so fun to watch. There's nothing better than a free safety that just flew downhill to light people up.
How long would he last in the league now, though? Like he would be fined out.
No.
He'd be done.
Yeah, he'd be fined. And well, he would have. I mean, he at the end of his career, he was still playing. He had to adjust when he was with the Patriots. He made changes, but he wasn't ever the same. So, but give me Rodney Harrison if you could throw back the rules. And then the other one, because pass rush for me is the edge player, is Sean Merriman, because that man.
Oh yeah.
Like I was talking to a guy today one of my buddies who just had a kid. We went over to see their baby, and he's from Northern California. And we were talking about Sean Merriman, and he's not a big football guy. He's like, who? And I'm like, dude, what?
Bro?
I think, bro, dude,
yeah,
man, we're not friends anymore. Like watching Sean Merriman play too, like that lights off dance.
Yeah, lights out, yeah.
Oh my god, dude! Like put Sean Merriman on this team as a leader too, as like that like personality, that vibe. tell me him, Derwin James. These guys aren't just going crazy every single play.
Did you see his post where he was like, "Hey, if Tim Tebow can do it," and you see him like flipping tires and pushing sleds? I'm like, "Yeah, you look like you're ready."
Please,
do it. Let's sign him right now.
Are you listening, Tom Telesco?
Yeah. That's my 1A, 1B for this answer.
I like
Rodney Harrison, Sean Merriman.
I like it. Well,
I'll make him my 1B too. I like that. LT and Merriman.
We had two offense, 2 defense.
And Seo. I'll just put them all on there.
Just get everybody.
Put them all on.
That's not the question.
I know.
It's all good. Thank you, Conyezy, for showing back up again. We move on to Mugsby Wugsby.
This is a new one. I like this name.
This is a new name. I love this name.
Okie doggy.
And Mugsby Wugsby had a bear.
Wugsby.
Who has the question?
Hey, y'all. Thanks for everything you do for the Bolt community. My question is for the coach. What are your thoughts on breaking down tape of Staley's defensive scheme? More specifically, how he uses linebackers in the run-pass-rush game. Thanks a bunch.
That was a good Bugs Bunny.
No,
Gotta finish this off. Come on, don't leave us hanging.
Yeah, what's up, Doc?
Yeah, there it is.
There she is.
There she is.
All right. Well, Coach, you got called out there. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I guess so. Like looking to the future, we do have plans in the coming season to have some more breakdown, diagramming and breaking down actual game tape. So hold on to your horses for that.
Hold on to your butts.
But yeah, I would love. That'll be a plan. That's perfect. Throw these questions out there. We'll file them away, and I'll look back and try to break down more specifically what is going on with. Because obviously we know Gus didn't blitz. Those linebackers were, especially middle linebackers, were not utilized in the pass rush game.
Yeah,
So
it wasn't very aggressive.
I'm excited for Kenneth Murray to see what Staley does with him in the pass rushing game. So check back here in a couple months.
Yeah, I think that again, Staley is such a new coach. Like you have a year, maybe 2 of him like running whatever defensive scheme he is. And even then, you don't even really know if it's really his scheme or if it's the coaches, know, telling him what they want to run.
He's his own man now.
He's his own man.
So Brandon Staley has had 1 year. He's had 1 year as a defensive coordinator, and he had the number 1 defense in the league.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's sick.
You have to anticipate a lot of change, and I think that one of the biggest changes is going to be the blitz. We just didn't do it before.
Yeah. So yeah, let's let some games go down, and then we can start really looking at tape. And because we know that he is going to be the one that's going to be calling the plays for the defense, and our defensive coordinator will just be saying yes, sir, and communicating that through his headset. Excellent. Thank you, Mugsby Wugsby, for asking the question. We move on to Brian LaRue, who asked the question.
I am particularly interested in defense and unfortunately didn't get to spend a lot of time around the football growing up. I think I get the gist of the basic schemes and concepts. I'm wanting to start doing film study as a hobby and grow my knowledge base. Any tips? Says Brian LaRue from Quebecois.
So in that same vein of tips and looking at film breakdown study, what do you recommend, Coach, as far as what Brian LaRue wants to do? Hey, that rhymed.
Yes. So this is in Coach's Corner a couple weeks ago. This is a very similar question. And there's several things you can do. One, try to find people that you can watch football with that know what they're talking about, because as Kevin and Wooldog would say, a lot of the times I just kind of throw up information as I'm watching a game.
Yeah, you talk to yourself a lot, knowing that none of us understand what the you're talking about.
Yeah. So a lot of the times when I'm watching a game, like stuff will just pop up, and they're like, "Coach, like Kyle, what are you doing for Coach's Corner?" I'm like, "I don't know. Like, what do you guys want to know?
What do you want me to do?"
When we're watching a game, crap just flies out of my mouth.
Shit everywhere.
Just shit everywhere. So that's my number one thing is if you know someone that is knowledgeable, just go watch games with them. And ask questions, and they'll be more than happy to talk football, because anyone that knows football loves talking about football. So that would be number one. Tip number two is be careful with who you talk football around, because if they don't know what they're talking about, they might just talk out of their ass a lot, and they have no idea what they're saying.
Yeah.
I've coached with a lot of people that are like this. The main thing on the headsets on game day, they'll be like, "Oh, I told you they were going to run that." I was like, "Yeah, but coach, the last 400 plays you said something and it wasn't right. So you don't know what you're talking about."
Even a broken clock is right twice a day, my friend.
Exactly. So just be careful who you're actually listening to. Be selective. But if you find somebody good, just go watch games with them. Make sure you take that. And then obviously online, there's a lot of stuff, man.
There's
on
a lot of
YouTube,
stuff
there's
online.
so much content.
I think even the
find
Chargers
someone-
main YouTube site, there's a guy.
Yeah, they have a new film. Chargers have a new film room that's really solid. They break down stuff. That'd be a good recommendation.
Yeah, don't just go into any random Joe Schmo's YouTube, like ours that you're listening to this from. But if it's someone that's played the game of football, they'll know what they're talking about. That would be my highest recommendation.
Excellent. Thank you, Brian LaRue. We move on now to Okie Doggy.
Every time.
Who asked the question? Now that the draft and free agency are done, I wanted to turn our attention to our coaches. My question is, which coach/coordinator are you excited to see work with the players we had or with the players we ended up getting, be it from free agency or from the draft? Also, here's an interesting fact I remembered. Did you know Gift Smith, our D-line coach, has been coaching the team since Mike McCoy's final year back in 2016? And he is now in his third coaching regime. You can say he's the coach who lived.
Dun, 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 dun,
He asked for
dun,
Voldemort,
dun, dun.
and yeah, there it was.
There it was.
That was
That was it.
There it
So, take it or leave it.
Dude, Lombardi is the big wild card for me, just because our offense, you just don't want to mess up what Herbert did last year. You don't want to get in the way of his progression. I'm hoping that is the biggest one for me. I know Staley's going to oversee the defense. They're going to be great. I have confidence there. They were the number one in the league last year. Lombardi wasn't even the offensive coordinator. So it was that's the big question mark for me.
Yeah. And he had one stint as an OC and by no means was it successful.
No.
Right. So I don't know if like verbiage wise, you said which one am I most excited for? I'm most want to see how that work well.
Yeah. That's why I'm excited to see how that works out, whether it's good or bad. That's what I'm most excited for.
Yeah. Right. For me, so I always had our quarterback coach last year, Pep. Everyone was like, "Oh, he's the best coach in the world. That's why Justin Herbert's so good." Right. And as a coach, I know for a fact there's a lot of bad coaches that have great players do great in spite of them. And I'm not saying Pep is a bad coach by any means. I was just always like, well, how great of a coach was Pep and how great of a player was Justin? So for me, the idea of Shane Day, this new quarterback coach, and seeing what Justin does in spite of the changes, it's kind of exciting for me to see
how maybe good he is.
Maybe Justin's just that good. Maybe he just works that hard and he studies that much and he puts that much time in that no matter what QB coach that he has, he's going to be successful.
Yeah.
So I'm just excited to see how Justin does.
I think those are both great answers. I think for me, I'm just excited to not have the worst special teams in the league. So let's see what Darius Swinton can bring to the table.
Yeah.
It has to be better than the worst, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah. We got a lot of kickers on our roster right now.
We're not last place.
Just not last. All right. Well, thank you, Okie Doggy, for showing back up again. Always good to see you. We move on to C. Densley 11, another favorite of ours, who asked the question: pick one player on our team to be granted one attribute of another player on a different team. Has to be the same position. No D tackles with Tyreek speed. You hear me, fellas? Why do you upgrade? Or who do you upgrade, rather? Keenan with elite speed is enticing, or Herbert with Lamar's elusiveness. But I might just give Badgley some Justin Tucker accuracy and call it a day. All right, so we're splicing DNA over here. We're taking an attribute from another player, melding it with one of ours. I like the Justin Tucker Badgley thing because I love Badgley, but God bless, man, you got to be able to make your kicks, dude.
The idea of like just manufacturing a kicker is kind of fun too.
That is, that would be kind of fun.
Who had the best accuracies? Like Carney's accuracy and Badgley's.
There you go. Keep it in
but
the
it's still
team.
not good enough because he doesn't kick
But
it
it's
out
got to
of the
be
back of the end zone.
a current.
I know
another player on a different team. So here, this is also manipulating the question.
That's fine
because it's
our show. We can manipulate whatever the hell we want.
Yeah, we're gene splicing because he gave the best options. Like Keenan with Tyreek speed, unstoppable, absolutely unstoppable. Herbert with Lamar's elusiveness. Come on. Like, give me a break.
Come on.
Those are like two of the best answers, in my opinion. Give me some Brandon Staley with Bill Belichick W's, like Super Bowls. Let's go.
Oh, sign me up.
That's my
I like
answer.
that. That's creative.
You know,
that's
like,
outside the box.
You got that new guy with the
Mic
knowledge,
drop.
with that old proven running the organization. Give me some of that.
I like
love
that.
It. I'm on board.
So
I just want to go retro players, so it's kind of hard for me to lock it in. But those two,
I know,
like
we're still stuck in that other question.
He took the best one, Keenan with Tyreek speed. Like that's
that's
the unstoppable force.
Best receiver ever.
That is the perfect storm.
Big time.
You know? Marky Mark would be in trouble. He wouldn't make it back with that kind of power.
Marky Mark didn't make it back anyways.
I know, exactly. It's the perfect storm.
Okay,
Stay out there trying to fish too long. You never know. You might run into Tyreek Hill / Keenan Allen hybrid out in the sea.
Getting greedy, and you're going to catch a Keenan.
All right. Excellent. I can't top any of those answers. So thank you, C. Densley 11, for asking the question. We move on to Lavish Syndrome, who asked the question.
What was your favorite schedule release slide? Mine was the Browns.
Well, yeah, I mean, we brought 4 of them up earlier. The Browns one was fucking vicious. It was just like, there's nothing to do in Cleveland. It was a blank slide.
Things to do. Nothing. It's too funny.
I mean,
the Washington one for me, I just like the word art of politics. That was just real. I don't know. I was like, who thought that? That's hilarious. I like the Washington one the most, I think.
I think the one for me that was like the most savage was the Giants and the Daniel Jones, just him like tripping. It's just like a just photo of him just stuck in midair, and it's like, that's your quarterback. That's like,
that is truly one of the funniest things for the quarterback, for him to just have nothing but open room and just to trip on his own dumb toes.
Yeah. But the Raiders
his
one.
own dumb toes. His own dumb piggies.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Raiders, FTR.
I had to watch that video.
That was pretty good.
I had to watch the video like 5 times to get all the little details. I had to pause it on each one to read through everything. It's like, it's Easter eggs. It's like those old DVDs with Easter eggs in them. I was like, I had to find all this stuff.
Yeah, but they did it smart because I guess they like release the schedule to the teams and they only give them a couple hours before they release it to everyone.
Yeah.
But the Chargers did it smart because you could mock up all those slides beforehand.
Be ready to go.
And then just
we all
slide
know
them
who
into
we're
the
playing.
weeks.
You're right. When you're right, you're
Genius.
right.
When you're right, you're right. You're right.
When you're right, you're right.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Thank you, Lavish Syndrome. We move on to Daniel Llewellyn, who asked the question. But Marge, oh man, I'm looking at the schedule and trying to answer a question for Mr. Burns. It's hard. Is there a guaranteed win on the schedule? How about a guaranteed loss? Beer. How dare you?
Yeah, man, I feel like our schedule is
the first 6
the
weeks.
First half looks pretty vicious. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, so here's the thing, like the schedule, right? You play one division in the NFC. We got the NFC East, which should be bad most of the time, but I feel like a lot of those teams have improved. You got Dak back. The Washington football team has gotten better. So I feel like that is kind of rough. And then the AFC North is, I don't know, like, and then the teams where you play the team that you finish in the same standings, I feel like all those teams were bad because of really bad injuries that are now healthy.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like we got some tough games. For me, if you have to take an automatic W, God, I don't know. I think the Giants, week 14, the Giants are just kind of, I don't know.
I think the Texans are a guaranteed win. That team is just a
Yeah,
dumpster
without
fire
Deshaun,
right now.
That's good point. Yeah.
I'm doubling down. Either one of the Raider games, they're both dubs. Lock
That would
it
be
in.
that-
I'm
that's-
calling it
Well,
here.
yeah, you get the odds are there with playing them twice
Yeah.
for sure.
No, I'm
One of
saying
them will be a
you
win.
can pick both. They're both instant dubs.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
There you
parlay this. The first game and the second game, we're going to win some money.
And then again, every team in the NFL is good. So it's like when you look at your schedule, like, oh man, our schedule is so hard. You look at somebody else's schedule, like, well, their schedule's kind of hard too.
And I'm not going to admit defeat. There's no one here that I think there's a guaranteed L.
Yeah.
No
Wrong
way. No
podcast
one's an
for that
automatic
question.
L.
No, there are some tough opponents without a doubt.
Hell
We
yeah.
could beat we could go 17-0.
Yeah.
We will. And I think it's very possible.
We will.
And we will. I think the Chiefs are going to be
We're going to
hard.
beat the Raiders twice.
The Chiefs are going to be hard. They're always hard. They're always, with Mahomes are going to be tough. So both
It's definitely
those games
not
are
a
gonna be
guaranteed
brittle.
L though. No way.
I can guarantee some wins. I can't guarantee some losses.
You're not going to find that on the Shamelessly Positive podcast. I'm
No.
sorry, Daniel, but we love you.
Love you,
Anyways,
Daniel.
Love you, Daniel.
So thank you for asking the
love you, bye.
question. K, love you,
Love you,
bye. We move on now to fully vaxxed Dave. Congratulations, Dave, for getting fully vaxxed. Who asked the question? We went 7-9 with a horrible offensive line, a horrible special teams, and a bad coach. Realistically, what do you project as our season record this year? Mine is 12-5. Thanks.
And I already dropped mine on the interview with our boy Jason. So you know what it is. It's 12-5. We're going to go 4-2 in the AFC West. Split with the Donkeys, split with the Chiefs, and sweep the Raiders. I'm going 12-5, and we're in the show, baby.
It's hard, man. I think it's hard to give a projection right now. We just have so much turnover.
Fucking do
So-
it, Kyle. Just
There's
do
so
it.
much unknown.
Pick a number.
Pick a shamelessly positive one.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin, 12-5,
embarrass us.
13-4. Then I'm going 13-4.
Yeah.
I like good A+.
Yeah.
And we'll win the preseason game.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
All three.
I think we're
16
We're 16-4.
I think-
Yeah.
we should count preseason games. I don't know why no
100%.
one's
I
including
count them.
Yeah.
I want to win those.
Yeah,
when
for
I watch
sure.
them.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to say
So does Easton Stick.
I'm going to say 14-3. I think we're going to get I think we're going to clinch that
So
that bye week.
17-3.
Yeah. 17-3.
Sweet. Yeah.
It's going to happen.
17-3.
That's it. That's it.
There you go. Thank you, Fully Vaxxed Dave. We move it on to Bringing Home Bolts, who asked the question.
Oh, yeah. Herbert's MVP campaign kicks off in less than 120 days. Which road game are you most amped for? I'm absolutely juiced for Burrow versus Herbert. Bolt up. K, love you, bye. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bold saws ready.
You're going to get the neck in there.
You can't see it because of my beard.
Tuck it up. Tuck it up.
I'm most excited for the Washington game because that's
Yeah,
week
first
one.
game of the season.
I can't not wait.
That's a good
for
call.
week one to see what everything looks like. Obviously, to beat Burrow would be great. That Justin versus Burrow. Everyone is saying, "Oh, yeah, but Burrow was hurt. That's why he won." Blah blah blah. Shut up, Caleb. Bye.
Shut up, Caleb. You bye.
I'm putting it. I'm just excited. I mean, there's a lot of fun games, but I'm just excited for that week one.
Yeah.
I want to beat Mahomes in Kansas City week 3.
There you go.
While I'm there.
Yeah, I like that one too.
That's what I want to see.
I think those are both great answers. So there you go. Can't get much better than that. Thank you, Bring It Home Bolts, for asking the question. We move on to Bobby Caldrone, who asked the question. If the Chargers are worst, XX fill in the blank at the bye, they will be set up to make a push for the playoffs. Let's get the season a-rolling.
I think if you're 500 at the week 7 mark, you're in good shape. Like
Really?
That's like worst case scenario. I think this is a worst case scenario question. If they're 3-3 at
Yeah.
the bye, I think we're ready to roll. Game on.
Okay.
So that's a tough first 6 games are tough.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, you got a couple of chips.
Got to win out the rest of the season.
I think I think for your
for me,
projection.
Are at worst. What do you think they still can get to the playoffs?
That's true.
You have to at least be 500 by week 7 for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm a lot more excited at 4-2. Well, I guess I'm a lot more excited at
6-0.
Yeah. But I think at worst case scenario, 3-3. Obviously, you're not out of the playoffs by any means, and you're not like scrambling. But yeah, man, I don't know.
We'll just be a positive podcast at that point, though.
In my heart, 4-2. You got to be 4-2. That's kind of what I'm in the back of my head. Like, if you can get 4-2 through that season, you're looking good.
Those are some great teams in the first 6 weeks too. So I think,
but like, are they
that's cruise
like
control?
Washington, Dallas, Cleveland. When is everyone scared of Cleveland?
You're talking about
this sucks.
Cleveland made it to the playoffs last year, man. Yeah. I think if we can go 3-3, and the 2 of those wins are against Kansas City and Oakland. Or Las Vegas.
Wins.
Sorry, I said Las Vegas. I meant Las Vegas. If 2 of those wins can be against Kansas City and Las Vegas, then I think that's putting us in a much better situation. If the losses are against Kansas City and Las Vegas, I'm not quite as comfortable with that, but still possible.
Good point.
All right. Well, there you go. Thank you for asking the question there, Bobby. We move on to Chimney Crickets, who asked the question.
Hi, guys. What's the bare minimum for this season to be considered successful? Thank you.
That's deathbed stuff there.
Well, he asked for, give me your best overweight heavy smoker who just finished working out for the first time in a year. Which I feel, I don't smoke, but hey, I'm a big fat guy who hasn't worked out in a while. All right, so bare minimum for the season to be considered successful.
10 wins. You got to get 10 wins.
Yeah.
Bare minimum.
I'm at that point. I'm at that point right now where it's such a clean slate. Like, it's not going to be successful unless we make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to make the playoffs now. There's no games that have been played. Playoffs are still in reach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's for me, making the playoffs.
So your answer might change come bye week.
We'll see. It's a sliding scale depending on how positive I need to be.
And we need to see what everybody else in the AFC West is doing. But I think 10's a good answer. 10 or 11, I think, to feel successful.
You said 10 and you're in, but we added another game, so 11 and you're in.
You never know, yeah.
There you go.
But then again, some 500 teams get in every once in a while.
But not in the
AFC West.
The AFC West is not going to allow such a...
What? Depends on what happens to Patrick Mahomes.
Wow. You're gonna
no premonitions. I'm just saying there's a chance.
I've got Tanya Harding on speed dial over here.
Tanya Harding.
Put the pipe down, Kyle. Jeez.
Put the pipe down.
All right. Thank you, Jiminy Crickets. We move on to D. Jeeves, who asked the question.
Wait, what is this?
Okay. So D. Jeeves wants me to do, I think, if I understand this correctly, he wants me to do Huggin impersonating Coach from the round one reaction.
When we pretended like you were in the air.
Yeah, when you were up in the air. So if I remember correctly, it went something like this. Oh, damn drink cart. I hate the aisle seat. Where are my peanuts? Here we go. Shut that kid up. Jesus. So anyway, with this schedule release, as Charger fans, we know every game most likely can be a scratch your face off, pull your hair out, stressful kind of game. But which one are you looking at as that one game this year outside of the division? Also, what game looks most like a trap game? Whoa, here comes some turbulence. Gotta go. Oh yeah. The Raiders. I can't let me by.
And just please explain what that was, please.
Yeah. So he wanted me to do, if I understand this correctly, he wanted me to do Huggin impersonating Coach, who was flying in the air during the draft episode.
Dude, that's some meta shit.
Yeah,
right there.
that's really
that was awesome.
That's Inception. Yeah.
So, but great script. Thank you for writing it. That was fun. Yeah. So what do you think is going to be the most stressful game outside of the division and what looks like a trap game?
I think I'm slightly scared of the Bengals game a little bit, just with I don't want our boy to lose to Burrow. There's just something about that that just scares me.
Yeah.
As like a, people are going to start being able to talk shit to us on the internet, and I don't want that.
I don't want it.
I don't want that in my life. So I'd say that's kind of our trap game. Like, don't let that happen, please. For the love of God.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. It seems like when we get into the playoffs, it always comes down to the last week. Week 18 at the Raiders. Like, that just is going to be a scratch my face off, pull my hair out.
Yeah, because that could be
last second. Yeah.
That could
Hopefully we don't have to worry about it, but if we
Hopefully we're already in, it's clinched, it's done deal, but that could be a tough, scary, very stressful game.
Big time.
As far as a trap game, I don't know, man. Anytime you come off a bye playing the Patriots are never fun to play. Halloween out of a bye. That could be tough.
Dude, at least we're not playing the Raiders on Halloween because they always dress up like such dicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Remember those Halloween Raiders?
You don't want to lose to a dick.
You don't want to see a whole bunch of pinheads out in the stadium. Like, that's unsettling. Yeah. It's uncomfortable.
Well, there you go. There you go, D. Jeebs. Thank you for asking the question. We move on to the Glorious End, who asked the question.
Such a good name.
With the acquisitions of Vizcaino and Kessman, we really do have options going into the season for kickoffs and PATs. But I'm genuinely surprised that punter hasn't been talked about as much. Are you guys at all concerned or surprised that there hasn't been much, if any, stirrups in terms of punting? Okay, I love you. Bye.
I think Ty Long has just gotten a bad rap these last couple years because he's covering for Badgley so much.
Yeah, he's
like, let the man
doing
punt.
2 jobs, kind of
let
like
the man punt. He's shown good hang time, good distance. Our coverage has been garbage, absolute garbage. Is he out kicking his coverage? Like, what is really happening? I'm not as concerned about that as I am with our accuracy, and I want the player that's getting us the points to be key. Field position is incredibly important, but kicker is way more important than punter for me this year, at least.
Yeah, kicker puts points on the boards, and they did bring in another punter, Lachlan Edwards, as a possibility. So there is competition for him.
I love how the staff came in and were like, you know what, guys, there's no safe jobs here on the special team.
Yeah.
You think you're, Badgley, you're amazing with social media and everyone likes you. That's cool and all, but we're going to bring in 3 other guys to compete with you. Like, no pressure, bro.
Right.
Hope you strengthen your leg and get these kickoffs out of the back of the end zone because we need you to do that.
Yeah. So they did bring in another punter.
Yeah.
To carry 2 punters into camp, it's clear that that's an issue. Yeah. It's clear that they're bringing in people. I'm not extremely excited about any aspect of our special teams. Just having shamelessly positive hope in our coaching staff to get it right.
There you go. Couldn't put it more succinctly than that. Thank you, the Glorious End. We move on to Belly Full of Swans.
This is new. I like that name.
You might want to see a doctor about that, but you have a question and it goes something like this.
Not for nothing there, but let's say that Don Telesco gives you an offer you can't refuse. You get to pick 2 active players from any rosters. Hoorah! But he requests you make your pick discreetly, and the players you choose have to be the players most likely to help the Bolts beat the Chiefs. 1 offense, 1 defense. Whose names do you give to the Godfather to ensure the Mahomes crew sleeps with the fishes? Okay, love you, bye. Say hello to your mother.
Dude, Belly Full of Swans coming out of the gate swinging.
I love
that was
it.
a good one,
That was
bro.
a good one.
This is an easy trick question because if you take Tyreek Hill off of the Chiefs and onto our team, the Chiefs no longer have Tyreek Hill. So that's the one that you pull, and I'm good with. On defense, get rid of the Badger, the other Badger, the Honey Badger.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sure.
Get rid of him. Sounds good.
Tyrann Mathieu, yeah.
Yeah, Tyrann Mathieu.
Is that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that the question that he's asking? He says to pick two active players from any rosters.
From any roster. So the trick answer is take the Chiefs.
Okay.
Because then they could lose their player.
Got it.
And you gain them. Yeah. So belly full of swans.
And you Tanya Harding them.
Yeah. Get rid of Tyreek Hill. One of you guys pick Kelsey, and we're golden.
There you go. Kevin.
I can't.
I don't know what to say. Like
I can't think of a more creative answer than that.
That's the background beat.
I locked it up.
Answer.
I delivered it. It's all done.
Yeah. I mean, if we're playing with house money, friggin' bring in Jalen Ramsey, put him back there with Derwin, and just like shut that defense, set that offense down,
and then take Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill and Jalen Ramsey.
What a show. Look at that combination. Dirty girl.
We're playing with house money here. I got to go talk to the Godfather, see if he could do some favors for us, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right.
God, I love it.
All right. Thank you. Belly full of swans.
Love it. Keep it coming, man. That was a good question.
Come back again.
Yeah, that was good.
Let's move on to another old favorite of ours, Tayler Foffe. Iowa, who asked the question. Ready for Slater versus Young rematch week 1? And I hope our boy Herb destroys the Vikings week 9 so they can see why he won Rookie of the Year firsthand.
I love the backhanded kind of like going at people. Yeah, I love it.
Double
let's
backhand.
validate all of our feelings, how good our boy is. Yeah, I love it, dude. I'm pumped. Week 1. Like, talk about throwing Slater in the fire. Like, that's one of the toughest matchups you're going to have all year.
Well, and like Craig said, Chase Young knows that they were.
What did he say? Why he's lubed up, taking reps already.
yeah,
oiled up.
Like, there's no way you didn't hear all this talk about Slater, how he shut down Chase Young.
Yeah.
And he's ready to come out and prove a point.
Yep.
That's going to be
It's
fun.
going to be a
It'll
tough
be
game.
fun to see.
Yeah.
It's kind of stressful. Like, I don't want our new baby boy to get beat up.
But just imagine if he goes out there and just straight
just
dominates
locks him down all
game. Pushes his head down in the AstroTurf. Oh, I would love to see it.
I love it. It's just
thank you, Tyler Foffe, for asking the question. We move on
Foster.
to Coach Lago, who asked the question. I don't care who you are. That's funny right there. Yeah, love the pod, boys. Keep it together, World Dog. Am I right, Hug Bros? Get her done. Life isn't like a box of chocolates. It's more like a jar of jalapenos. What you do today might burn your butt tomorrow. So, do T. Billy and Gottenberg make the roster this dear season? Yeah, love you, bad.
So good.
That needs to be a bumper sticker.
Yeah.
What you do today might burn your butt tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I don't care you are. That's funny right there.
I think T. Billy and Guyton are penciled in. I don't see why they wouldn't make this roster. They showed up last year where we needed them and got our boy to, Rookie of the Year. So I don't see why. I think these other guys need to compete with these guys. I think these guys are set up right now to make it.
Yeah, unless one of those guys just took the whole offseason and did diddly squat and
ate jalapenos and
got worse. Yeah. And seriously, like, if something got worse, there's no reason why they didn't earn a spot on the roster.
Yeah.
We have a lot of receivers. I would put both of them ahead of a KJ Hill and several of these guys that are just kind of lingering around right now. Like, they did more, like, and that's the thing is, like, they did more than Joe Reed, who was a pretty decent pick of ours last year that didn't really do much. And I know, I'm sorry, Craig, I'm not saying that Joe Reed's not going to be good. I'm just saying that T. Billy and Guyton have done more on the field
for sure
in
you
game time than those other guys that are backing him up right now.
What have you done for me lately? Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I like the fingers.
Paul Abdul. I lost it for a second there.
Sorry.
Boys.
Paul Abdul wasn't on my playlist. I couldn't chime in with you on that one.
I blame my mom and all of the dance competitions I had to go to.
Oh, that's right.
My apologies.
That's right. All right.
Shout out to Kath.
Yeah. Love you, Kathy.
Love you, Kathy. Sorry for all the F-bombs. We move on.
In the Manscaped commercial.
Your son's balls.
All right. Thank you, Coach Lago. We move on to Chargers Dad, who asked the question.
We saw Michael Davis do a big contract and drafted God's Child 3. For those of you who don't know, that's Asante Samuel Jr. What I want to know is CB1, or does Staley's D not work like that? Like a tackle is a tackle. Please, Eddie.
I love that movie.
I do too.
I love it. Everyone's pushing you to just, you're going to become like this voice guy. That's just your full on.
This is my weekly practice.
Guy, but it is practice.
Yeah, this is my weekly practice. So congratulations. You get to hear me sometimes do good stuff and sometimes you don't have to write home about that one. But it's it's an interesting question.
It is. Yeah, it's a good question. So I guess the idea of a cornerback one, what's the point of designating a cornerback one versus a quarterback 1A, 1B? The only reason you would do that is if your one cornerback is going to run around the field with wide receiver one. If that's not in the plans, or one guy's not way better than the other, then you have two cornerback ones and they stay on their side and they play whoever comes out. And I think that's what we're going to have is you have a right corner and a left corner, and they stay there, they get comfortable there, and that's where they play. Cornerback one is really just a designation if you have a guy that's going to chase around the best receiver the whole game.
Yeah, I can't think of any other better explanation than that. So, I mean, we got to see what these guys can do, and honestly, what Staley thinks of them in not just the OTAs or any of the practices, but the preseason. That's going to be their time to show how well they can compete with other NFL caliber players.
Yeah, and it may be matchup related, right? Mike Davis is a bigger guy than Asante Samuel Jr.
That's
He's
true,
got 3-4 inches on him. So if you have a big receiver and then another shifty or smaller receiver, maybe you do bump him around. But then can you really designate who's CB1 or who's CB tall and who's CB short? Like,
I like that.
It depends on how you want to designate.
Who's CB instinct and who's CB measurable? Which one is it?
They're both starters and they both are like play corner. If that, I guess.
What we've heard from Staley is he doesn't like, giving people these designations. He doesn't.
We're in the gray.
Yeah,
right.
We're in the gray. We don't know what he is. Is he CB tall? Is he CB short? Like, well, whatever CB you are, you're going to be playing and you're going to be confusing everybody. So I'm not as worried about designation. I think Coach will put them where they need to be properly.
Big time. But good question. Thank you, Chargers Dad. We move on to Bobby, a.k.a. Bozzy H, who asked the question.
The schedule release has gotten me excited to go to the new stadium and for potential tailgating. What are some of your favorite tailgating experiences?
All right.
Cue sound effects. So I've had some good ones at Charger games, but the most insane one I've ever been to was a Mizzou tailgate on a homecoming. And I walked down into this parking lot and they had a full pig roasting out in the middle of the parking lot.
Wow.
Like the level of like college football tailgating, it's like these kids show up to get hammered and eat pig. They really don't care about going into the game. So I think the NFL may be a little different. Like I really want to see that game, but people come out of the woodworks to get hammered and eat pig in Missouri.
In Missouri.
My favorite tailgating experiences, and this is like, I don't know, this is like nostalgic, I think. I don't think it's like everyone would, hey, go do this and you'll love it. I just remember as a kid going to the Charger games as a season ticket holder, we had the same routine every time. We would come drop in around the backside of Qualcomm. So it's like not where everyone else entered into the main gate. It was kind of like the secret one around the side. And we would go to this like deli and liquor store all in one. And we would get these sub sandwiches. And then me, my dad, and Kev would go sit and eat our subs and then go into the game. And for me, like still, those were like my favorite tailgating experiences. And I think it's just all about who you're with and the memories that you create. That's what tailgating, that's what football is. So those are like the tailgating experiences that I still hold on to.
And we couldn't like rage or anything. We were like 12 and 8 respectively. So I think this new season, some new memories.
It'll be different.
Yeah.
Some new tailgating experiences,
new
if you will.
Nostalgia will be created.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't really have many tailgating experiences or memories. So it's up to you, Boltfam, to give me some good ones this upcoming season. I'm looking forward to it.
That sounds like a challenge.
All right. Well, as long as you guys can carry me, that's all I care about. But thank you for asking the question, Bozzy. We move on to Bolts on Bolts, who asked the question.
Any chance Ingram resigns? Yeah.
He hasn't signed anywhere else yet.
There's always a
Hope's
chance.
still
There's
alive.
always a chance. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Where there's a will,
There's always
there's a
a
way.
chance.
Don't
There's always a
count your
chance.
chickens before they hatch.
And we hope that chance is really high and that it happens.
Yeah. We still got money to play with, so we'll see what happens.
Life finds a way.
Life finds a way.
Am I right?
Thank you, Bolts on Bolts. We move it on to It's Nate Purr. Hey.
New. This is definitely new.
It's Nate Purr.
Nate Purr.
Who asked the question?
With all these tall receivers and tight ends, what do you think this team is looking like in the red zone this season, scheme-wise?
I guess jump balls.
Loaded, I guess is the answer.
Yeah. No, I think anytime you get in the red zone, like obviously you have tall receivers, tight ends, you're looking for jump balls, but I don't know. Like, I guess Mike Williams to me is the only real jump ball guy at the receiver position. The other guys are speedsters. Keenan Allen's a route guy underneath. So
Parham doesn't have to jump. He just has to stand there.
Right. So with like Jared Cook, Mike Williams, you have some big guys you could throw to in the red zone for sure. But the proven and most efficient way to be effective in the red zone has always been the running game. And I think that's what we did with our offensive line. We created this offensive line that could run the ball in the red zone. That's how you become consistent. You can have a jump ball, but right, those are 50-50 balls unless you have Mike Williams in there 80-20s. But it's just like you have to be able to run the ball to be able to do anything in the red zone because everything gets shrunken down so much.
And we don't have to stress anymore because we don't have Melvin Ingram, so we should be okay in the red zone.
We shouldn't fumble the ball in the half.
Sorry, Melvin Gordon. I said Ingram meant
You did.
Gordon.
We know what you meant.
Thank you.
All right. Excellent.
That guy.
Y'all know him.
He just recently complained about not getting like the proper. Never mind.
Yeah.
We'll move on.
Moving on.
Sorry.
Did he not get out of his DUI or something? And that's what he's complaining
I
about?
don't know what his problem is. He's got
Whatever.
more.
Yeah, he's got
Leave us
99
alone.
of them at least. So thank you.
And fumbling on the goal line ain't one.
Yeah, no, that's a big one. Thank you. Thank you. It's Nate Purr. We move on to X Carnagix. I hope I pronounced that correctly. That is, I believe, also a new one who asks the question.
Hiya, guys! What new players on the Bolts could be rookie or free agent signing are you guys most excited for this year? Kate, love you, bye.
Love
the Sloth.
Sid the
nailed it.
Sloth
Sid the
from
Sloth.
Ice Age.
Well, I think we kind of talked a little bit about this, didn't we?
Yeah, honestly, I could point to so many. Like
There's a lot of
Slater
exciting
is-
guys. Yeah.
So the whole
Slater's
team seems to be different.
There's so many new players on this roster.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know who to pick.
Right.
The easy one is Slater because he's going to protect one of our favorite people in the world. So that's easy. That's the easy one.
Yeah. I'm most excited. Honestly, I'm most excited for Asante Samuel. I just cannot wait to see what he does. I hope that I don't notice Rashawn Slater. I hope that no attention's paid to him. He just goes out there and does his job and blocks well.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I hope he's an offensive lineman that does what offensive linemen do, and no one knows their name after they get drafted because he's just solid. I want to see Asante Samuel get some picks, just bring energy, make things happen. I'm most excited to see what he does because we had such a hole at corner and now we have that filled.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for me, it's kind of in that same vein as Corey Linsley. Like, I'm really excited to see what kind of holes he's going to be making for our running game more than anything else.
And it's
See those
protections.
snaps.
Yeah. And the
it's
protection.
protections too. Like that, no one really talked about that, is like getting the line in the right place to the right calls, the right protections. Like that is something that we didn't really have with Bud Heavy. You look at him, it didn't seem like the most intellectual, like awesome guy, but he's there to like pound beers and have a good time. Look at Lindsley's seems like he's going to be a little more help.
A little more even keeled is what you're saying.
A little less mullety, a little more like, let's get ready for the week.
He's got his suit and tie for work. He's ready to go.
A little less mullety.
Yeah, a little less mullety, more ready for the week.
All right. Good answer. Thank you, X Carnagix. Thanks for showing up. And we end our Ask Bolt Fam with the Chargers nerd, a.k.a.
Man.
Daniel.
This is loaded.
Yeah.
You were asking for blood to be shed with this question.
This is how we got to go out with one of these hot and heavy questions. It goes something like this.
Well, shoot. Our older brothers or younger brothers better? And why is it clearly younger brothers that are better? Can you share some Chargers-related experiences that show why younger brothers are so much better?
Oh, that's so
Thanks,
good.
Daniel, younger brother Daniel. Clearly, your brother's somewhere out there. I'd love to get in touch with them and we can hang out and bash on our little brothers because it sounds like you guys haven't learned anything. Go ahead, Kyle.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Oh,
your turn.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where to begin as to why we're
Just
better.
don't.
Just like life. I mean, like, just look at where we are and things like that. And,
What are some Charger-related experiences?
It's hard to go Chargers related. So Chargers-related
I got one.
experiences.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Third party is much better.
Well, this is
Third
just
party, yeah.
this is just from you guys telling stories. What was the story that you were telling Kyle? Now, hang on. What was the story that you were telling Kyle when you were the one that saw the play, but Dad and Kev?
So that was going to be the one thing I brought up. It was Chargers, Chiefs, last game of the season. Playoffs were on the line.
This is Mike McCoy era.
We were going to lose if the Chiefs made this, and it wasn't even a long 42-yarder, maybe 40-yarder. Kevin and my dad both up pacing in the concessions. Couldn't even watch because they were just little wimps up there scared to death.
Alpha style.
Here's
pacing.
younger brother
We're
standing
protecting the herd.
stout in his seat, watching the whole thing go down, watches them shank the field goal, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to celebrate with my big brother, but he's a big wimp upstairs.
He's a big Weenie Hut Jr.
because he thought we lost.
No, dude, it's like one of those mosh pits when people are just like punching and going crazy, and it's like I didn't want to hurt anybody. Like I'm looking out. It's responsibility when you're the older brother to not put little brother in a place where he can get knocked out like he did at the bachelor party. That's kind of what I'm talking about.
Oh, who was All State when they played football, Kevin? Who won a state championship and was named All State?
Who?
Little brother.
Who went to film school and did a whole bunch of whatever that they do there.
Who went to camp and
Shut up.
made movies.
It is not camp.
Big brother.
It paid a lot of money to go to camp.
You paid a lot of money
Football
for that
guy.
Oh my God. All right.
That's a great question.
Great question. And that does it for us here at
But honestly, Daniel, get back to me with your brother's contact info. I'd love to have a conversation.
Yeah, they'll have a little powwow. They'll create a chat group.
They'll whine together.
Alphas.
That's it for Ask Bolt Fam, and that's it for this episode of Charger Chat, folks. Thank you again for sticking around with us. Thank you to everybody that came by. Again, we will post the link for the GoFundMe for Tayler. Again, any bit of money that you can spare to donate down in the link description. Please, any little bit that you can makes a huge difference. So don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye. Brochachos.
Love you.
I gotta catch waves.
And now, a word from our sponsors. Hey there, Bolt Nation. Let me ask you something. When it's time to get your picture taken, what do? I know when people see me, they think I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. But I wasn't always this way. If you want to be like me, then sign up for the Asante Samuel Jr. School of Smiles. That's right. You too can learn how to smile like a pro. Take it from me and sign up for the School of Smiles today. You'll be happy and you know it, and your face will surely show it.